Welcome to the Brotherhood First, the podcast. I'm your host, Brother Franklin Stacy Jr. With me are brothers Quincy Banks and the other brother, Brother Alex Wood. Our topic today, the future of Alpha Midwest. So brothers, when I think of the future of Alpha, the first brothers that come to my mind are our college brothers, as well as our young brothers that are newly initiated, our young brothers that have graduated from college and that are joining alumni chapters. And so, we're here now in 2023, and I think back in 1987 when I was first initiated, and there was no Divine Nine, there was an Elite Eight, and there were no other organizations. It was just the Black Greek letter organizations, and everybody was interested in joining. But now we have a lot of different organizations that are popping up all over the place, different groups and things like that. And it just seems like the interest is just not there. And so, the College Brothers are the lifeblood of our fraternity. And I believe that over 60% of our college chapters are at risk. And the definition of at risk is, not having at least 7 brothers. And so, that's going to be something that's going to be very important, that we continue to work with our college brothers. And I just want to hear some of you guys' thoughts on that topic.
Yeah, well, I'll jump in. I was initiated in 96 at a PWI. And in 96, we were still kind of riding that wave of you 80s brothers. So it was still that hype of you wanting to be in a fraternity. Mm-hmm. Even being at a PWI, we had great representation of, we had us, we had the AKAs, we had the Sigmas, we had the Zetas, we had Deltas and Kappas. So it was there for us. We felt it. We felt that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that whole competition part. And now, Elmhurst Mew Mew chapter is still around, but we're down to 1 member. And our trend over the last couple of years has only been 1 member. And just trying to unravel that mystery of why is it not the end thing anymore? Why is it not the cool thing to belong to anymore? It kind of gets you thinking, us being in 20 plus years, of what are the stereotypes? What are the stereotypes that they've seen, and the key word that they have heard? Mm-hmm. And why is it not popular anymore? Why do they not want to be a part? And then the ones who do want to be a part, we've talked about this before, Frank and I, it's too late when they want to join. They want to join as seniors.
Yeah.
And then now, in our case at Mew Mew, we're only going to get 1 year out of you, and then you're gone. Then now we have to start the cycle all over again. And just it's not even us. I mean, it's the big state schools as well, like Tall, Theta. We're used to seeing them with 10, 20 bros. Now they're just barely getting 7. Mm-hmm. So the future, like you said, college brothers are the lifeline of our fraternity. And we just have to find that missing piece to why other brothers, other black men don't want to join. Yeah. Maybe we need another Cosby's or Different World, one of those, something to get everybody back hyped up about it. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. Well, my plan is to incorporate a university relations committee. I can tell you that much, because I believe that it is important that our colleges and our universities understand that Alpha Phi Alpha is truly an asset, mm-hmm. and it is not a liability. I also believe that our college brothers, they need an opportunity to mentor as well as be mentored. Mm-hmm. We need to make sure that we are in the high schools, in the middle schools, so that when they do come, to college for the first time and they see Alpha Phi Alpha, they see, those letters, they recognize those colors, and, it won't be the first time that they see it, and it'll be something that they recognize. It'll be something that they can feel comfortable with because they saw that before. And allowing our college brothers the opportunity to mentor those incoming freshmen, because that's a very crucial time to be able to help them to understand that it's not about your grades, it's about your GPA. Because a lot of young men don't realize that you need a 2.5 to join at least. And so if they don't have that 2.5, by the time they get that 2.5, then they're second semester juniors, and they're also first semester seniors. And then they're there for a semester or a year, and then next thing you know, they're out of here. And so, making sure that, we also participate in IMDP when it's time to participate in IMDP. And, allowing, college brothers the opportunity. And when I talk about the mentorship part, I'm talking about, making sure that, these young men have the grades that they need, but as well as the finances. I think the fees have gone up another $100 and something.
Yes.
And so, giving them the opportunity to raise the funds and know what the funds are so that they know where they need to go. That's very important, So,
well, there's a number of different points that we both have brought up, and as I'm sitting here listening to the first part of this conversation, it's making me sort of think in my head back to, like you were saying, what was it that brought us to the fraternity in the first place? And so, first of all, I want to welcome both of you to the too cold District of Canada, and
I see.
That's right, the amazing city of Toronto. Thank you both for traveling and being here. But I bring that up for a reason, okay, is because think about the chapters that we all pledged or were initiated through.
No, we pledged.
We did, but I want to say that we were initiated through into the fraternity.
Yes.
Okay, and I think that's an important way to say. We all have that affinity for our college chapters, right? What between 87, 90, 96, and 2023, what has changed? What has changed within the fraternity? What has changed within our society that is maybe not attracting young men to our respective chapters? Now, at a PWI, and same where I pledge, there's always been challenges because of demographics and just grade points and all the things you mentioned, Brother Stacy. But at the same time, we still found a way to do it.
Yeah.
Finances, grade points, you name it, we found a way to do it. And why? Because there was something about that light of alpha that I've heard you talk about it many times. You just had to have that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I think we all would agree with that. Why is it that a young man walks onto the campus of any institution today and they're not seeking that light? Right? So I mentioned, we all have district, chapter, what have you, regional pride. We have things that we talk about, making noise in Illinois and all that stuff, right? But that started somewhere within the Brotherhood. We had pride in that identity, right? And pride in Alpha Phi Alpha. I feel like somewhere along the way, we don't have as much of that as we used to. Now, the last point I'd like to make on this part is this: what is it that gives us that pride, right? What gives us? I've talked about this before. Where do we find value in being a member of Alpha Phi Alpha and being a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha, right? Those are the things that I think we need to drill down into and analyze to understand what the challenges are, so that then we can implement a plan to attract those college men.
And it's so great that you said that because, for me, it is the fact that, I am a social service guy. I believe that I was put on this earth to provide a service for someone that is less fortunate than me. It's what I do in my employment for my livelihood, and it's what Alpha Phi Alpha is all about. It's about serving the community. And so, to be able to serve the community through Alpha Phi Alpha is just so important to me because, I'm able to do it as a livelihood, and then I'm able to do it in my fraternity. So it's like I have a 24-hour job that I just love, and it's not, and it's not work. I feel like it's a career, and that's so important. And hopefully we can, like I said, get back into those high schools, get back into those middle schools, and start to, make those young men understand how important that is, so that when they do come to colleges and universities, that they see us and say, hey, I remember those guys coming, and I remember, they're the reason why I'm here. And so I need to become a brother of that fraternity so that I can give back to some young men that gave back to me the same way, it was given to me. And so that's really important. But, it's not just our college brothers. I mean, we have young brothers who, are in the fraternity, and, we had the COVID situation. I'm hearing brothers tell me that, when we had the little hiatus where we couldn't meet in anything, it was hard to bring brothers back. And so, I also believe that we need to make sure that, the Brotherhood Engagement Committee that I plan on starting as well, which is really important, bringing those reclamation chairs all together so that we can find out exactly, what are the stresses that they have. We currently have 6,706 brothers that are total in the Midwestern region. Active, we have 3,417 that are alumni, 282 that are college. And this number is staggering. We have 2,889 inactive alumni members that are in the Midwestern region, and 118 college brothers that are inactive. And, that's 45% of the brothers in the Midwestern region. And we can't do yearly or every 6 month reclamation or reactivation programs. We have to do this on a consistent basis. I mean, we have to meet these brothers where they are, and we have to do something to get them back. And, I think that's very important because they are also the future,
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Even going back to you forming the reclamation, the engagement committee committees, that's important because even though we are all in different districts, we all do something different and we all do something great. Mm-hmm. So if we can all get together and find out what's that secret sauce that you guys might do different in Ohio, that you might do different in Toronto, and put it together and share that information, and let's try and bring these brothers back in because these are our brothers. And what I've learned in my 26 years, almost 27 years of being in the fraternity, and even dealing with brothers in my in my undergraduate, in my college chapter, was that life happened, but they never lost the love for the fraternity. Because if I call any of those brothers and ask them to be somewhere or to do something, they'll do it, and they'll do it with all their heart. But it's always that, oh, well, I don't have time to do this, or, oh, do I have to do this to do? No, you don't have to do that. Yeah. But remember what we all wrote in our essays, and this is something that you always say when you're doing IMDP. I'm gonna remember what you wrote in your essay to get in. Yeah. Are you gonna uphold that 26 years from now? Yeah. So are you just saying that to get in for now, or are you saying that to get in forever? And one thing that I learned being at a PWI and being, we had Panhell, but they have IFC. And they will always say, well, why isn't Alpha Phi Alpha, Sigma Gamma Rho, any of you guys a part of IFC? Like, we'll be a part, but our constitutions are different.
Yeah.
And one thing that separates us from you guys is when we graduate, we still can serve in our alumni chapters. So you'll never hear us say that I was a alpha.
Yeah.
But with them, they say, oh, I was a T.
Yeah.
No, I am a alpha.
We're obligated to serve.
Yes, because after this is over with, we still can service our communities. But going back to what I was saying, we just have to find out what's that secret sauce that everybody is doing, or somebody or some chapter, some district is doing that can tie all of that we can all use to make us better, to get these brothers back in the fold.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the things that comes to mind, and even as we are sitting here, the three of us talking about this, is let's draw on our expertise. What if, you know, and I hate to sound critical of the frat, but I think we have to examine ourselves, right? And one of the things that I don't think we do well is communication, both internally with our membership as well as externally, you know, so that other folks outside of Alpha Phi Alpha know really who we are, what we do, and what the impact that we make in communities really is. I think that's part of it. And when we have folks who know graphic design and how to do marketing and that kind of thing, when we have people who know communication, when we have folks that know that the grassroots of, you know, the social service and education systems and things like that, we need to draw on those expertise collectively and collaboratively and implement these programs. But I think too often what happens is this brother's over here doing his thing, this guy's doing his thing, somebody else is over there doing another thing, and we don't apply those expertise in a real collaborative way within the fraternity, in an organized and, as you mentioned the word, consistent manner. I think that's really crucial.
So then that leads directly into, you know, establishing monthly Brotherhood training series, and not just for the purpose of doing chapter development stuff. You know, we have to make sure that, you know, our health and wellness is where it needs to be so that we can continue to serve. We have to make sure that we are, you know, I'm going to go back to chapter development for just a second. When we get IMDP certified, how many of us remember exactly what it is that we just sat through? You know, how many of us actually know that, oh, okay, well, you know, this is the responsibility of the sponsor, and now it is not the chapter dean's responsibility to do X, Y, and Z. And so, you know, we're going to need to break down parts of the IMDP training just for the purposes of, you know, focusing on that particular important issue so that brothers can understand that. But then going back to, okay, it's not just about Alpha. It's about us as men, you know, having the opportunity to allow brothers who have that expertise the opportunity to say, you know, hey, I work in the field of mental health, and we can put together a panel of brothers who work in that field that can meet with, you know, brothers and help them to get through whatever problems they have. We have brothers that struggle in their professional development. Okay, we have brothers that are out there that are entrepreneurs that may be in the field of real estate, you know, that other brothers may want to be able to, you know, connect with and say, you know, hey, you know, let's do a Brotherhood monthly series on, you know, how to invest in the stock market or what have you. You know, we you know, explaining, you know, the importance of making sure that you get checked at a certain time for prostate. You know, just everything that has to do with keeping us above ground so that we can continue to prosper as men. You know, benefit not just the fraternity, but our families, our communities, you know, that's just so important, you know, just like what you were saying.
So I'm going to ask you this question. Being the communications guy, I'm going to put my journalist interviewer hat on real quick, and I'm going to ask you, Brother Stacy, in a Franklin Stacy Jr. administration, what does that look like? What are some of the specifics of what you've designed that you will implement in your tenure?
Well, first and foremost, I've been preaching brotherhood first. We are Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. The comma incorporated part is the business part. We always take care of the business. Now it's time to start taking care of the brothers. It's time to start taking care of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity. And that's what I really want to focus on, especially being a district director during a global pandemic and seeing brothers lose their lives, brothers struggle mentally, physically. I mean, it is just it's so important that we really focus on the brotherhood. And, by doing that, like I talked about my university relations committee, that's going to be so important to make sure that, I want our college brothers to not have to stress to do national programs. It would be so great that our college brothers would have the opportunity and the ability to go to school and get the best grades that they possibly can and graduate, because everything is laid out for them so nicely that they don't have to worry about that stress. That's just so important. And then that brotherhood engagement committee and letting those, we wouldn't turn our back on our biological brothers, so why are we turning our back on our fraternal brothers? They are just as important. It's just like what Quincy mentioned, they still love the fraternity. They still wear the letters. They still have the lanyards. We need to focus on them. That's so important. And I'll be launching a regional listening tour, and I will be giving brothers an opportunity to have an access to their regional vice president. We're going to talk, and it's not going to just be you talking to me and me listening and things aren't being implemented. Things are going to really be implemented, and I'm going to really take the brothers seriously, because I know I can't do this by myself. And I know that we have some great young brothers, senior brothers that are out there that have some great ideas, that have a lot to bring to the table. And it's not going to just be me. It's going to be us, and I hate using the term the Stacy administration. I want this to be our administration. I would love to take that, term out of it and say this is the Midwestern Region's administration. This is us, together. And that's going to be so important to me. It really is.
Right on. I mean, that's the thing I think that brothers are looking for. They want specifics, and they want to see the value. We've talked about this before, where it's one, sure, we, like you said, the incorporated, we pay our dues. Mm-hmm. We want to get the budget reports and all the the audit reports and all the things that we show us where our money's being spent and how, and accountability and all that. That's great. Mm-hmm. But we also want to see the value of the investment of our time, our energy, our effort. You mentioned the mental health piece. And yeah, why am I investing of myself into something that's stressing me out? Mm-hmm. And not to say that we don't have to put in some work, but like you mentioned, that brotherhood aspect, getting back to that. So yeah. I think that's exciting to think about how that can be implemented.
And I'm so excited to get started. I really am. I really believe that I will be able to do what's necessary for all of us in the Midwestern region to come together and really look one another in the eye and see a real, true brother. I'm tired of hearing, we have brothers and we have alphas. By the end of my term, I want us all to consider each other brothers, and let the alpha thing be gone. And so that's really going to be important. And I really appreciate that question. And so that concludes this podcast. I think this was a great conversation. I mean, we all care about Alpha Phi Alpha so much that this should not be the last time. Hopefully this could be the spark that could start a wildfire within our Midwestern region, and then spread throughout the rest of our regions and internationally. And so I want to thank Brother Quincy Banks and the other Brother Alex Wood, and thank you. Your hospitality has been great. I love Toronto. It is beautiful here. There was no way I was not going to come back here. It was great. And
he is trying to get them stamps in that passport.
Hey,
Frank wants a new passport.
Look, and the welcome is here. The black and gold carpet is always laid out for brothers, and love having you guys, obviously. And I'm just going to put a plug in for the Midwest region administration to come. Okay. We had a amazing convention here in 2019 that brothers are still talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave that right there. I'm not going to say anything else.
Which for me, that was the first time I ever left the country. The first time, and I hear. I would have been one of those guys, and I don't want to keep going on this, but I would have been one of those guys that would have never left their city, never left their block, never left their state, if it wasn't for Alpha Phi Alpha. And it's funny how or it's weird. It's not funny. It's just strange how you meet those kind of guys that, they're so invested in their community that they don't know what's out there. And, everything that I've done, everything that I've experienced that's been positive, it's been through Alpha Phi Alpha. And so to be able to leave the United States for the first time, it was because of Alpha Phi Alpha, and it was Toronto, and I fell in love with this place. So that was great.
You heard it, Midwestern region. You heard it right here.
Well, thank you. It's been great talking to you, brothers, and God bless to all of you.